He who accepts evil without protesting against it is really cooperating with it. Henry David Thoreau. The only good is knowledge, the only evil is ignorance. Bad men live to eat and drink, whereas good men eat and drink to live. Socrates. What is evil? It's the opposite of live, live, L-I-V-E, E-V-I-L. They tried to warn us a long time ago. Bad men live to eat and drink. Good men eat and drink to live. If you are eating the wrong food, you're cooperating with evil. You are evil in effect. And that's the reason why I ended a 93-minute instructional video I produced back in 1999 called The Ultimate Weight Loss Program with that quote by Thoreau. Because at the very end of that video I tried to explain how the serpent, Beelzebub, that's inside of us is affecting our behavior. I love that book, The Ethics of Diet by Howard Williams, translated by by Tolstoy into Russian. And that's the reason why Tolstoy said, vegetarianism serves as a criterion by which we know that the pursuit of moral perfection on the part of humanity is genuine and sincere. Why did he say that? Because he read that book and translated it into Russian. Had over 80 of the greatest thinkers in the world long time ago were paying attention to the good men and the bad men based on what they ate. They knew back then the effects of eating meat had on the temperament. How'd that quote by Einstein go? It is my view that the vegetarian manner of living by its purely physical effect on the human temperament would be most beneficial for the lot of mankind. It's very obvious, folks. We are what we eat. And if you're not eating the right food, if you're not living the right way, you are in effect part of the problem. You're cooperating with evil because you're not living. We got to live. We got to satisfy our needs. Eating the wrong food is not satisfying our needs. If you don't exercise, if you don't sleep, if you don't get sunshine, you're evil. Why? Because you're not being the best that you can be. You're bringing us all down. Remember, we're all one. Oh, what I do to myself doesn't affect anyone else. It does. No man is an island. The individual cannot escape the collective. No matter how well we do individually, if the rest of us, or if the most of us, aren't doing the right thing, it brings us all down. I know I harp on this over and over and over, but we got to stay motivated on the hero's journey. We have to understand what Plato meant when he said, whatever deceives men seems to produce a magical enchantment. You're under the hunger spell, my friends. The vast majority of us. Try that one on your loved ones. Tell them that you shouldn't feel hunger down here. It should be up here. It should be a water to the throat. It's not a morbid sensation. Yeah, I know. There's nothing you can say to them. If people aren't ready, they just aren't ready. So, what's a good man to do? Well, you don't cooperate with evil. That's what you do. You eat to live, not live to eat. That's what you do. And when you can learn, my friends, the difference, and when you can finally eat to live, you're in for a treat. These good people are a curse to India. The curse of timid decency. And a part of the tragedy of our times. Well, that was Gandhi talking about all those good people in India that wouldn't help him for his cause for freedom. They were well-bred, of high caste, good education, of means, and yet they wouldn't support him. Non-cooperation with evil is just as important as cooperation with good. If you're not going to be part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Now, was Gandhi trying to guilt these people into doing what they're supposed to do? And did it work? Is guilt a motivating factor? Well, I've added it as a part of my list. If y'all have seen my other videos, The Ultimate Solution, where I explain all 281 pieces to my schematic, to my puzzle, There's 21 problems of knowledge, 2 forms of ignorance, 12 sources of false knowledge, 7 wilderness factors. Addictions, denial, habits, apathy. The last 3 of those wilderness factors come from that personality test that I've been talking about, where we have desires, guilts, and needs. So that'd be piece 20 and 56. So I believe guilt is one way to motivate people. However, that's an area that I don't go into, I don't think. I'll have to think about that, to be honest with you. Am I using guilt to try to get you guys to do something? Is it an effective way of getting people to do something? I really don't think so, but if, gosh almighty, if we can get them to test an idea as time has come, it's a whole different story, because that's what people are missing. They don't know what they're missing. Now, why didn't these people want to help Gandhi? What's wrong with them? Why didn't they understand the truth of his cause for freedom in India? Why weren't they willing to participate and play their role? Well, you know, it wasn't much different here in America. The Declaration of Independence, when we fought our great war, supposedly, only a very small percentage got involved. Less than 5% overall got involved at all. What's wrong with us as a species? Are we doomed? Are we ever going to be able to overcome this negative ripple effect where we keep passing down mistakes to our children and we end up with the same crap that we got now? I'd like to think we haven't reached beyond that point of no return. Event horizon, they call it, where you've gone too far, you can't come back. I'd sure like to think that we haven't done that. Otherwise, I'd be wasting my time, wouldn't I? So I try to remain optimistic, just like Gandhi was. And I'm willing to bet that he probably was pretty successful in guilting a lot of these people to do the right thing. Now, that's something to think about for all of us on the hero's journey that are dealing with family members who aren't ready for this. Should we try to guilt them into doing it? You don't love me if you don't do it. Hey, I know one thing for sure. If your spouse isn't doing it, man, you got to make them understand that you guys are a team. And you're more of a team than anybody else. And you can't have any quality of life when the main part of your team is sick. They've got to realize that. And I'm not going to say anything else. I was going to say maybe it's time to move on, but that's always a tough decision, isn't it? How do we know when to give up on somebody? Well, your spouse is a different story. You can't get rid of your parents or your children. They're always going to be part of your family. And I know one thing for sure. When my mom died of a heart attack, mainly from smoking cigarettes, I sure wish I would have gotten her face a little more. I know it would have pissed her off, but now, you know, after the fact, hindsight, you know, I wish I would have done whatever it took to motivate her to stop smoking those cigarettes. And I bet I could have done it if I really would have gotten her face. At least I would like to think I could have. But that's a tough call, isn't it? How do we know to take something to the next level, to rattle their cage to get their attention? I'm not sure what to say, folks. I've said it many times, the ones we love the most are going to break our hearts. We got to work extra hard with these people. Try to figure out what is it going to take to get them to at least test an idea as time has come. You got to let them know that they don't want to be part of the curse. They don't want to be part of the tragedy. And when you can stop being the part of the curse and part of the tragedy, you're in for a treat.